amazing SpaceBro show. That's right, we're here to talk about the #1 amazing super space game anticipated in all the universe, and the best show on Friday nights that talks all about it, the SpaceBro show. And tonight's guests are the one, the only, Toy Grubbin, and joining them, fresh off the hot presses from a nice raid, is the Few. As he types virtuously over at the side. There he is! Oh! Oh, man. All right. What's going on, guys? How are we doing?
What's going on? I'm just fixing my audio. I think I'm good.
Right. Good. Good. Well, that was a little smoother than the last time. We're getting better at this.
Yeah, getting better at this.
We're getting better at this. Oh.
All right.
So how was the stream you came off of right now? Oh, your camera's going in and out on me. I don't know why.
No.
This is drama Zoom issues. Trust me.
My camera?
It's not you doing it. It's Zoom doing it. Because we were saying this, and I was like, I didn't know if it was it was hard for me to tell if it was the screen capture with the chroma key or if it was like something else going on. But the rest of us are all smooth, and I was like, why is that one doing it? Maybe it's because it's a gray box right now. You know, and then I was like, well, when he comes on, it'll probably fix itself. Of course.
It doesn't look like it's going in and out from my perspective.
We'll see. See, look, they said in chat he vanished. He vanished for a moment. You went out for a second, and then when you look back up, you're there. So just keep looking at your screen. Don't look away, and you'll be okay.
It's like that movie. I can't remember but where he's invisible as long as nobody looks at him. This is the opposite. As long as I don't see myself.
Absolutely.
I'm invisible.
Yeah, check out the cool. Oh, watch! It's
fancy.
Cool. Ooh, all sorts.
Of I have really way too long of a Twitch handle.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yours is smaller than everybody else because he's got so much stuff. But that's okay. That's all right. So, how was the stream, man? How was it going tonight? I caught part of it.
Yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun. But troubling, like in the sense of we didn't accomplish any of the almost none of the ideas that I had.
Yeah.
Because of the game, the bugs are like this, and the bugs aren't bad in a way that I'm not having fun. Like I like bugs, but it just means that when you plan for certain types of gameplay, you usually you play the bugs instead of the gameplay you plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of getting stuck in seats.
They're like, you thought you wanted to do this. Never mind now.
Yeah.
Get out of the seat? No, don't get out of the seat.
But they did fix that. So the patch they did put out just now fixed that. But it does look like, from my experience at least, that the mining is that we can't find rocks to mine now. Like they'll show up on scans, but they're not. Oh, I disappeared again.
Yeah, I told you. See, look. Oh, there he's back. Oh, no, he's gone. Wait.
What is going on?
I don't know what's happening there.
Should I try turning on my camera off and on
No,
again?
it's not you. It's not you. It was doing it even before you were over here.
Connection.
Yeah.
It's probably because you were streaming while you were connected to Zoom. It's probably all related to that mess.
Probably. I can't.
But I know so Zoom he's not. Yeah.
So no more streaming for you.
Yeah, you got to retire now. It's all over.
Okay, I'm done.
It's all done. We'll just say, hey, we'll just put your name up there so we know who's supposed to be in that box. I'll work on it on the side.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can come up with. All right.
Yeah.
Toy, how's your streams been going? What's been going on with you and the strum and all? I never get to catch you anymore because it's like you're on way later than me, and I'm
I've been. Some nights I've been getting super late starts, and then of course I got to throw everybody a freaking, a curveball today, and I streamed early. I streamed RTV.
There you go.
Saw that.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Somebody from the team's got to do it. Why not you?
Hell yeah.
That works.
I was up, which is,
amazing in itself. So yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, and for me, you guys have been watching. I mean, we have the regular good old content going on. We've always trying to hit the right schedule, but things up and down. Family always curveballing a little bit that, but we've had a lot of good fun with the 3.2. I think it's good. Our best stream we've had in a long time was when they launched it. We just happened to be on late that night, and so we were able to hit it out the gate, and we've had a lot of fun with it. We've not been very successful at mining still. Mostly because the first night when I was like just not getting the hang of it, ever since then, every time I've tried to do it, I've been mined by another prospector. So I haven't had a good clean run at it yet. It's been a lot of blowing up of ships.
Yeah,
going back.
There's a lot of that going on,
which is fine. Because I do it too. I mean, it's whatever. I can't really. Oh man, they shouldn't be doing that stuff. It's like, is that Mitauchi saying that? It's like, no, I wouldn't be doing that. but no, it's been pretty good. I've noticed some hitching, like everybody else. A little bit of seat bugs. I haven't experienced as much as like some of the issues you guys had before the patch. You guys were just getting hammered there, from what I could see, like one issue after another. But hopefully they'll clean some of that up. And, you said the most recent patch mitigated some of that, so I'm anxious to jump back in and see what's been kind of fixed and what hasn't and where we're at with things. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's weird things that I've noticed. Like, I feel like when we tried getting in the Hurricane before, it had like 4 laser turrets, and now you get in, it's like 4 projectile turrets. And I don't know if that's like something they purposely updated between patches. I know you can swap them out, but...
Well, I thought it was supposed to be all default projectile originally.
Okay, so maybe they just fixed that because it was just like, it's weird that those kind of changes are happening between patches. So yeah.
Well, I noticed there was a report in Evocati, or a leak earlier, before it went to PTU, that somebody said there was 2 and 2 on the turrets, and they threw that question out there like, hey, I know this has been leaked, that you have 2 and 2 on the Hurricane. Is it supposed to be that way? They're like, no, that's just the way they were when they were experimenting. They rigged it up because they were just testing different elements, and they never undid it. So it's supposed to be all projectile. So it should be fixed now. And there you go. Also, I
noticed.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I did hop in earlier today and noticed that the ships had all the guns missing again. So on the Hurricane specifically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, when me and Phantom got in last night, we got in a server, and all the seats were missing out of the 600i. It was pristine. We went in there. It's like, Phantom, I think I parked it in a bad neighborhood because all the seats were missing from every room in the entire 600i. I was like, everything worked fine except you couldn't drive anywhere because you had no seats. But, it was the elevators were great. That was it. So other than that, guys, we're only about a week away, a little over a week. We got about 8 days left on the 600i giveaway. Speaking about 600i's. So we're getting very close to that. We do currently, for those people that don't know, we have a poll up over on my beautiful Twitter. We'll link it in there so you guys can check it out. Where we're just, and this is not definitively going to say what type of giveaway we're doing next month. I just want some feedback from the community. And it's a little poll seeing if what people be most interested in for Star Citizen giveaway.
That
was awesome. Somebody take a clip of that. It looked like the room fell in. That was awesome.
No, it was awesome. I was lowering my desk and playing around with it, and I had something way up high, and then like it fell off, and then took out my camera on the way down.
That was so good.
That was
Clips,
awesome.
Clips, please, because that was good. That was really good. But yeah, so we got the 600i giveaway coming up. We're currently got a little bit of a poll for that. We'll give more information about what all is going to be given away next month as we get closer to the date. But we are in discussions, and I'd just like some of the community's input from all the beautiful SpaceBros and from all the team's channels and stuff like that. So if you guys want to participate, that would help. Would love that. What else we got going on? We're getting really close to like the, oh shit, I haven't bought plane tickets to go to CitizenCon time. So
that's not till like 30 days before. Like that's when it starts mattering.
I don't know.
I think
I
like,
get worried.
I mean, I'm not saying I fly a ton, but I fly a reasonable amount. And I feel that plane tickets are fairly stable until about 30 days in advance, and then they start fluctuating quite a lot.
But you guys are in big hubs. I'm in Kansas City, Cowtown. So I get a little more worried because then it's like, yeah, we got a flight still, but you'll have to fly to Nebraska, then Ontario, and then we'll get you down to, because they have on our city's plan in Kansas City, they're rebuilding the airport. They're breaking ground in October. So I'm a little nervous already. I'm like, so you're going to be rebuilding the airport about the time that I go. So I can only imagine the chaos they'll be down there.
You guys finally going to get jets there, huh?
Well,
get rid of those propellers?
Yeah. The funny thing is we're actually like, I can't even remember like a 2 or 3 terminal airport, and it's just
really?
Yeah, we're not used because we're not a hub because they don't get the airlines in, so they're actually shrinking it down to a single terminal is what they want to do. Yeah, and everybody in the city has been like way against it. I'm like, when you go to an airport, it looks like it's a graveyard. You walk from one end to the other, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, So they're going to get all that out there, get it modernized, and bring it up. And like Toy said, get jets instead of propellers. So we'll be...
Mitauchi arrives in Austin in the back of one of those biplanes.
Yeah, biplanes. They got the scarf and goggles. Yeah, it's like, it's all good. We'll do that thing.
Mascot, yeah.
Absolutely. We'll make it happen, Captain. But anyway, I digress. Let's go on to the Star Citizen awesomeness. We do have some okay stuff this week. There was a pretty heated exchange on some of the Reddits and forums at the beginning of this week. It was all about the one particular question that popped up during the calling all devs, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
I forgot. My mind's been blank. I forgot about that.
I hang on to those morsels of drama so we can talk about them. That's like that's like my end game. It's like, oh, there'll be something to talk about. Great here. I hope. I love that Todd Pappy, like his initial like answer to anything was immediately like, no. I'm like, can we get more of those type of questions that they're definitive? Just like, nope. Move on. Next question. Yes. No. That was pretty good. So I like that. I enjoyed the fact that he gave us that answer. I thought it was a weird question, though. It was specifically the question was related to, will we ever be able to automate our ships to come pick us up, like remote or remote start? Because there was some question that I don't remember if it was on Spectrum, but on Reddit, it funneled around to where we saw some of the stuff, and now the closed captions over the question. But basically right there, that was the kiosk ones. It's like, with shop item kiosk coming in 3.2, can we expect ship buying and renting coming anytime soon? And that's been something we've all wanted a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, you're talking about, we're already moved on to the next question. Never mind. We're good.
Was there a first? I think this is the first one they did.
Oh, I thought you were, because you were talking.
I was trying to lead in the other one, and I forgot that like this one's first.
Okay,
we'll get there.
All right, okay. I got all confused. Okay,
I did. I pulled a shift on you.
Okay.
So anyway, so renting ships. I mean, and all that stuff.
This is like
huge.
This is a question. I'm so happy. One that obviously I think we've been asking it forever.
Yeah.
So really it was just a matter of them selecting it as the question to respond to. But I'm so glad they finally responded to it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I am too. And the funny thing for me is people still bitching about it. I'm like, it's like, join us 2-3 years ago when we asked this question, and there was like nothing in sight about renting ships, because we were just wanting to rent them like off of the website, or just have what we had already, right? The rec ones, and just be able to bring those in the PU or something. But
it's clear to say that we're not renting ships in the PU. They specifically said you will not be able to rent ships in the PU.
That's not happening.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah,
some people I think are still confused.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to rent. What they're going to do is start to do the Tier 0 ship buying mechanic for Alpha UEC that will be reset intermittently throughout entire builds. So that's all you're getting. But it is huge. Do not understand that. It's huge, because that means when you go out and grind money, you're grinding it for a reason, and that's to actually try out some cool ships and stuff.
Yep.
I like I said, it's phenomenal to me. It's going to be really important, because that means everybody who just came in for $45 who got Aurora, you have a path to get into other ships inside the persistent universe.
Yeah, I think being able to buy new ships, being able to buy and upgrade components and weapons for your ships in the game are like what give you that progression in the game for the most part. And because that doesn't exist right now, that's why I don't tell people to buy the game. Like, I literally, people come into my channel, I say, don't buy the game. But if you want to back the game, back it right now. But it's not a game to buy right now. And as soon as they put this in, I'll have to see what it's like. But I may change my tune and tell people, yeah, it's a game worth buying. But I have to see.
Well, here's the thing, too. And this is something I was thinking about. As they're getting ready to roll out this implementation, across the end of this year. Because let's be very specific. He said 3.3 could creep into 3.4, but they really want to do it in 3.3. So we'll see. So that still could mean all the way into the December build. They're hoping for before that, but I'm just saying before people start going, oh, why isn't it in 3.2? It's not going to be in 3.2. Just get that out of your head. It's not happening.
Definitely not 3.2. They say targeting 3.3, but they don't really say. They're saying they're doing rec first for rentals in the Arena Commander and whatnot, and then they'll do PU stuff related with Alpha UEC. But what I want them to do right now, and I don't think this is too demanding, they've said it. Look, we're targeting 3.3. So can we please just include that as a feature on the roadmap? Just saying, hey, like, here's the tasks we want to do. And that way, it's just like an agreement between us and them, right? Of, hey, here's our intention. If they can move it to 3.4, like they do other features, I'm fine with that. But as long as we have it on the roadmap, I feel like it's something now we've got this kind of written agreement of, like, here's our intention. Here's what we're shooting for. And then because I get asked a question all the time in chat. I'm sure you guys do.
Absolutely. For years.
And instead of me just saying, oh, trust them, they're going to get it in soon, I can say, hey, look at the roadmap. It's targeted for X. You know what I mean? And,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things I noticed here, especially just, deferring back over to the roadmap, like what you were talking about, is, again, we've looked at this before, but they are loaded for 3.3. 3.3 has a huge amount of tasks. They have not pushed anything since they've done the dump from 3.2 to 3.3, since they've announced that, hey, we're pushing these items, they have not pushed anything back for 3.4. They will.
They're going to do the same thing. Well, they'll push something, but they're going to wait till
the week before or the day before they give it to Evocati. I
Yeah.
think that's a big mistake, because now not only, like the few was saying, he's advocating for them adding these items that we're talking about to 3.3 or somewhere on the roadmap so we can see these, right? If they add those that task or any of those other tasks to the already roadmap that's already really saturated in 3.3, I feel like it's just going to make it even less plausible in my mind, in the mind of the community, that they're ever going to be able to complete their full task list.
But we're not adding a task. We're like we're putting something visibly on the roadmap that they've already kind of verbally committed to. You know what I mean? Like, not committed is the wrong word, but verbally, like, has said that's their target.
That's their intention. Yeah.
Right. So if they're working on it anyways, just let's.
But okay. So as far as visibility, though, because they keep selling this as their actual project thing, which we know it's not. I mean, we know this is not the actual project thing of what they're doing internally. It's pretty close. It's their forward-facing one that they want to show the community. If they add this task to there, though, in essence, they'll be making more tasks on their list here. Even though we know they're working on more tasks internally, like what you said. I think the more they add here, the less anybody who says, hey, I'm going to check out this game. Oh, look at all this crap that's coming through 3. I think, I'm sorry, but outside of Hurston and a few other things, I'm pretty sure ship buying they care more about that than almost anything else. So if you want to remove a few items from the list because you think it's too cluttered, then let's remove something else. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want them to do. Because I don't want them to set themselves up and just keep stacking stuff here without moving some of these. Let's deprioritize or move some stuff out. I'd rather them do this. Wouldn't this be great? And this is marketing. Yeah. Marketing, hopefully you're listening. Move some of these to 3.4 to make it look less like, impossible. And then if you want to move something back to 3.3 the day before you give it to Evocati, do that. Because I'm just telling you, you'll get a much better thing. Like, you imagine the day before, like what they did on the Friday, right? Evocati had it for like 24 hours, and then they said, yeah, these items aren't going to be there. We're going to push them out. Do the inverse of that. Hey, yeah, this went to Evocati, and guess what, guys? These items from 3.4 are going to be in. That sounds so much better to me. I know it's just a little, finesse type thing, but I just feel like it would have saved a lot of keystrokes all over Reddit and everywhere else. And a lot of I told you so's all over the place and stuff, because it just to me, it just sets a perspective for the company that people expect them to fail. And when they don't, it's a surprise. And I'm like, I get tired of that, because they do such strong work. They have such good employees. And I feel like maybe from an administrative point, it'd be better to pad it out and then pull it back as a surprise. Our guys are doing so good, rather than just marketing wise, hey, sorry guys, but we have to push it out. I know they want to set pressure and high expectations, but I mean, just let us have a W in the community and for the outward facing with everybody else, instead of like always well, they didn't get this in. I'm like, oh yeah, well look, they pulled all this stuff and they got extra in. I don't know.
I mean, I could be wrong, but like I mean, obviously 3.3 has 50% more tasks than I think than 3.2 had, and 3.2 had 50% more than 3.1. So it's quite a bit more things in the list. We know that they're going to deprioritize some stuff. They have to.
They have to.
Like they did a 3.2. I think they do it like after they launched 3.2 live. I'm sure the first week or two they're going to be like, hey, poll, what do you think's most important? That we're going to reprioritize 3.2. I just don't think that's been done in a public-facing way yet, but they don't have that much in 3.2 that I would consider like super critical. I mean, there's a lot in there, but like for example, if they launched 3.2 where they had included Hurston and its moons, or at least Hurston and a couple of its moons, they included FPS combat, they included the ship purchasing, they included bind culling and object container streaming. Just those, that would be
just you saying that. Just you saying that, though. I'm just like, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
those are like 5. I just chose like five features, right?
The most major ones, though.
Right? Yeah. But my point is, those are the 5. If they pulled those 5 off, if they push everything else to 3.4, that would still be the Jesus patch of the year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, it would be. But again, and we know, and I go ahead and admit that. They have different teams working on different systems. These don't overlap to where, certain people are like, it doesn't matter. The guys working on bind calling have nothing to do with like mission racing, modularity and racing on this task or anything like that. But I'm just saying visually, it's nice where even if you do have to bump something out, that you pull something up or something like that. And I just don't think they highlight on the positives as much as that. I know they don't look at it as a negative, and I understand that, but I don't know. It could just be me all in my head at this point, but I'm just like, everybody that comes in chat every time after this, they're like, well, there goes that. I'm just like, I just, a little more positivity somehow spin on that. But yeah, but I digress. I think that's just something they need to think about internally. And I know it's Chris wanting them to say, hey, we're going to do all this. And if you put pressure on them, they make amazing things happen that normally they wouldn't. But do that on the internal project schedule, not the roadmap that we all see, because we know there's 2 different ones. I know there is, because they don't have tasks listed like what Top Happy just mentioned. Oh yeah, we're already working on that and blah blah blah. Well, it's not on the roadmap, so it can't be your exact same project schedule. I'm just saying. But yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, it's gonna be really cool. The one thing I will say is the same thing I predicted with this mining stuff. I think after 2 to 3 weeks, most people will kind of fall off and get bored with it. It's not going to be a long-term thing. I think it's going to entertain me.
Hey, I have grand ideas.
I do too. Yeah,
for my mining.
I do too. But I don't want to set everybody's expectation that mining's the end-all, be-all, and everybody's going to be fully entertained for weeks at a time. Hopefully, you're entertained watching us for weeks at a time until the next patch. But I understand, and I don't expect all of you to go out there and grind and mine every day and think it's really fun. Yeah. So the next question that popped up, did I miss it? I thought you had one more. Or was it just that one for Todd? That was just a rental one. I don't think he had a different one for Todd. It's a different dev. Huh. Oh, yes. I love, because this, and I totally feel like because it was his first time, he totally softballed one to Ben, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what's the deal with this Starliner? It's like, oh yeah, we're not ready to work in that yet. It's not time, and totally inappropriate for the current situation, what we're doing in the game right now. And yeah, I get that. I know some of you guys are hardcore Starliner fans. I don't know why, but I appreciate the fact you are. But yeah, it was nice for him to softball one over to a guy, just like, hey, I need somebody to randomly tell him that we're not doing anything on the Starliner. And
his answer to it was very corporate. It was but he was super nervous, you could see it, and I'm not in a bad, whatever. It's his first time. He probably is in front of camera a lot. It happens. But I think that in the back of his mind, I think you could see him thinking, okay, what am I allowed to say? You know what I mean? And what's the professional way to answer that? So you could have gone to anybody in the company and asked that, and they'd be like, oh, well, prioritization. When is it going to come out? It's not being worked on yet. Yeah, that kind of thing. So we didn't learn too much from that question, but it was still kind of cool to see somebody new in the company.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
some exposure that way. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
You know, you think about it, they got so many employees now that they couldn't show each employee. It would take them 2 years to show all their employees one at a time, like on any show.
we did one per day.
Yeah, if they did one per day.
Yeah.
Well, because they got to have people that actually answer questions. I mean, they can't softball to everybody. I guess they could. We'd probably be pretty pissed off about it, though. But yeah, but then he hammered Rob with like the hard question.
Of course he did.
Poor Rob. But yeah, the insurance thing came up, right? And the thing about the insurance question, how is insurance time going to be calculated? They did, you know, in the minute I was watching this, you know, because we got it right when it came out, you know, on video, and we're watching this. The minute he sat there and said stuff like, oh, you know, you'd be on vacation, you'll be fine. And then on the other hand, we're going to calculate real time. I was like, oh, you just hosed it both ways. So you're going to be in trouble now. I was like waiting for the recovery post.
Yeah,
you know,
so they do that. They do that a lot sometimes. They go hardline. We're like, yeah, this is how it's going to be, and then they go, oh wait, I should probably soften that a little bit, and then they back it up a little bit, and then that creates a nightmare for them.
Oh, it creates a nightmare for them.
Threw everybody off with the I'm gonna, you know, if you go on vacation thing.
Yeah, that was that statement. That was him trying to like explain and soften the blow, but it wasn't.
But I still don't get where that was from. I mean, since then he's mitigated all that. That's not an issue anymore. But I didn't get where you don't have to worry about it. And he was talking about it from what was it, a financial perspective or something. Like Disco tried to explain it, and I still didn't really capture like what he was meaning by the go on vacation thing. Because if your time ticks in real time, it just takes in real time. That's just it.
No, but he's
because the game is running at 8 times speed. Okay.
Where did we get the 8 times speed? Is that actually official lore somewhere?
That's what he said.
Oh, he did? I didn't remember.
What he was talking about, the game, it was the reason the game's running at 8 times speed was for we get the sunrises and sunsets.
Well, that doesn't make sense except for on Earth, because you can just have planets that rotate faster. Like,
yeah, but that's the clock they got it set to right now. That was what he was talking about specifically, which is funny because if it's server wide, that means your characters will all age at 8 times speed too, and that would kind of suck.
That's okay. Well, no, that's not so bad because that's still like what, like I don't know. You could play for like a few years on one character, and you'd still only age like 16 years. That's not bad.
Well, depending on what age you start at.
But do you want your character let's see, start at like 25 or something, Yeah. You could play for 3 or 4 years on a character before they become very old at all.
That's true.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's true.
I feel like 3 or 4 years on one character is reasonable.
It also like many people said, it depends on the planet you're on. Everybody's gonna have different planets gonna have different rotations presumably anyway, and different day-night cycles because they're gonna rotate differently. But I don't know. That's a whole different ball of wax there.
But the week thing, the vacation statement was because if you're going in fast in the game, right? Like let's say you have this is if insurance is being calculated while you're not playing, which obviously they've confirmed that in this statement here. But he's saying, oh, it wouldn't be fair if we're calculating 5 years insurance, but it's in game time. Oh, you know what I mean? And you go on vacation for a few weeks, you're going to lose a lot of.
Yeah, you lost if you had a 3-month thing and you're gone for like 2 weeks. You could at 8 times speed, you'd lose all 3 months insurance before you came back to reinsure. Yeah. The point I was thinking that was missed though, because it added value to the LTI by defining this clearly, obviously, because there is no expiration on your insurance. But even the products I have 5 years on, I'm not really worried because one of the arguments a lot of people had about this was the fact that they're like, well, if my insurance runs out while I'm gone, that's bullshit. I'm like, is somebody going to be flying your ship while you're gone? There, and does insurance even cover them or do they have to insure your ship? I don't understand the worry is what my whole point was. Your ship blows up while you're gone because you loaned it to your buddy. You just claim it when you get back. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm
sure that's what it is.
And even if you can't claim it because your insurance expired, then don't loan your shit to your buddy.
Yeah. Also, the only time it might be an issue is like with a javelin, right? Because I don't know if they've confirmed or denied whether you can log a javelin out of the universe or whether it's persistent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so there are ships like that where you'd be like, well, okay, I've got to make sure it's insured at all times just in case somebody attacks it.
I think the difference is though, and this this could be wrong, but this originally, when they were talking about leaving the Javs or some of these ships persistent all the time, what the main goal is, yes, they have to be operating manned 24 hours a day, except when you moor them to a station. Like you'll have a docking port that's a simple, safe area. You know, nobody's going to come in and one-shot a Jav because it's going to be protected by the station in UEE Navy because you're legitimate.
Have you seen how the stations shoot, though?
Well, I don't know. I about got tore up earlier, but they've dumbed them down a lot. So they are kind of like, hey, we're stormtroopers manning these guns now. They're like all over the place with the guns.
They're so bad.
But presumably that's it. The only caveat to that would be if you moor them to stations and they don't have that type of UEE AI security thing, what would pirates do? If you're a pirate and you have a capital, I guess you moor to a pirate station, but they aren't going to have like a response pirate fleet defending you. They just pretty much are more the attitude of, hey, if somebody's messing with crap at our station, our guns will kill you. But they're not there to defend your personal property. They aren't going to jump in ships because they don't care.
My thought is there will be these persistent super stations of some kind. I don't know. You know, you have the small gas stations, they'll probably have medium and large gas stations. And I don't know, something like that. There'll be these like super persistent stations, whether they're like hero stations or like procedurally generated ones that you can't really blow up and destroy. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to be,
I'm sure.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you dock at those kind of stations, your ship might despawn from the game at the station.
I'd be okay with that with specific points like that. You could log it off because there's too many caps not to. But if you're out in space, I really believe still I would prefer it to you can't log out your Jav.
No, yeah, exactly. In space, outside of these primary anchor positions, it seems like it would be too much of a cheat from a gameplay mechanic to like just like, oh, I'm gonna log it in, log it out. Like you could fly to a critical spot in the universe when your org is gonna attack, log out your javelin, and then when you're ready to attack, you log your javelin in.
Oh, I absolutely would.
You're behind enemy lines, and you're gonna attack, right? So it's really important. In fact, for most ships, I don't agree with logging out in the middle of nowhere space. But obviously they're going to allow that for some types of ships.
It all depends on the aggression cooldown timers and how they implement that. EVE Online did a pretty good job, but it was a whole mechanic where you'd bounce around, try to lose aggression, and then you'd log off. So you just jump and jump and jump and try to do it. It was a whole mechanic like that.
My main worry is more the aggression, not like not because you're getting attacked, but because of like strategic gameplay, like of flanking position. Like if you can like log out a whole bunch of warships, even if they're not javelins,
we did that
in very specific locations, right? Then you know, okay, at any point in time you could log them in, you could log people in there, and you'll have a fleet like in really cool attack positions wherever they are on the map.
We would log out on a regular basis like 50 and 60 man bomber fleets inside EVE. And then we just log on those characters all of a sudden when the enemy fleet flew by. And then we'd have a full bomber group behind their position, and it was a nightmare. For them. So I know a whole lot of exploits that could be used with that sort of thing. The caveat to that is with the aggression timers that makes it a little more interesting. You also don't want to ruin the game for the little guy who might get out a little too far, get all do a little too much. Give them the opportunity to log out. But after a certain ship size, you should know better, in my opinion. I don't care if it's a hull. I don't care what it is. I think when you get up to about the size of a hammerhead, you should know whether you should be able to log out or not.
What I think would be cooler as an idea, but maybe it's a bad idea, is smaller ships. Like I know exploration is the one area I haven't quite figured that out, right? Obviously, but like a lot of the smaller ships, like you can have smaller stations being more plentiful throughout the state, like the universe, right? Even in remote areas, tiny little small mom and pop gas stations that could pop up. You know what I mean? Like in very remote areas. And then when you want to log out in a small ship, you just have to fly for like a few minutes to a various location and log out. Whereas like a big ship, you might be like, well, there's no station close by that I can log out. So you have much more limitations in that regard.
And see, I think that would even work with exploration because the common misconception is with people with exploration and everything, most all the space we're in is at some level explored. You're not going to discover at this stage new solar systems or anything of that nature. They might put something in later that has like, hey, here's this unknown solar system you found randomly. But they're not going to make it to where you're so far out that the next system adjacent to you has no known ports, no known anything. I think it's going to be easy to still get back if you need to.
Yeah. But what I do like is the idea, and it's up to you as a gameplay, like as somebody building or whatever, doing whatever you're doing, is like if you're in a small ship, you're exploring, and you're on a cool jungly planet or whatever, you know, and you just want to chill next to a waterfall, and you don't feel like flying back to a place to log out, just turn most of the power in your ship off. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be really cool if you could like go into mostly almost stealth mode. You'd be almost like, if they do their scanning mechanics the right way, you'd be almost undetectable, right? And sure, if somebody found you, they could blow you up. You know, you'd still kind of exist somehow in the game. But as long as they don't find you, which is very unlikely, it's your risk to take. You know what I mean? As an explorer, I think that'd be cool. Like, I don't know, but again, that's my perspective. But I'm sure like most of the people in the community would be like, no, I want to. I want to safely log out.
I want to safely log out. I think the nightmare logistically has already been set. I mean, obviously, I want good aggression timers, meaning if you are shot at or if you shoot someone, you have a timer that you won't be able to log out and disappear for so long, right? So if you can avoid combat for X amount of time of any type, then you can log out only when your whole crew goes to bed, only when everybody's offline, all that stuff. You have to meet those parameters. I think that's going to be a logistical nightmare anyway. If you have even a 5-man, 6-man crew and any one of those players wants to log back in, they're going to have to, they have the option of spawning at the nearest station port, I think, is what they said. But even that, I think, is kind of a broken mechanic because it's like teleportation, right? You go from here and say, hey, I know the nearest station's like 3 jumps back that way because I'm in Van Duel space. Well, I don't want to die, so Captain, log out. At least you can save your crew. Because we'll try to log back in and we'll teleport back to the port where we were at. You might lose the ship. You might lose that captain, but you might have saved your whole crew by doing that. That's what I would do to exploit the mechanic. Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot of caveats. And we'll deal with whatever game systems they put in, obviously. But a lot of things that I just think are kind of, you know, they don't think about with these logging systems and rep and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think the whatever mechanics they go with will probably be better than anything that's ever been put into a game for the most part, but still, it might not go as far as some of us imagine. So.
It might not. I don't know. I've been really impressed with some of the stuff they've been in so far. But
I have.
Yeah.
Mining gives me so much faith. Like they've definitely like, they're always looking for like something that's fun, challenging, somewhat realistic, you know? Yeah,
absolutely. And Toy, what do you think about as far as the insurance mechanics go? Do you think like it's better the way they decide to set it down as real time? Do you think they should take another assessment at it a different way? What do you think about them?
You know, we knew it was going to be real time. They've been saying it's.
We've been hoping anyway. I mean, that's just the way, you know.
No, they have.
Yeah.
So, and you know, people have talked to devs at like the Citizens Cons and got confirmation on this. So it's no surprise to me, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, a lot of these ships, when, you know, this game releases, insurance, like they said, is going to be nothing. So it's just going to be one of those, you know, pay 20, 30 credits and your ship's insured for its base model. What I'm interested in is, I think he let slip that some of the components and stuff you'll be able to insure. Like
I don't want that.
So some of these higher end components you put in the ship you can insure too.
That's so true.
If they allow that insurance on higher end components, it better be freaking expensive. Otherwise, the game's going to be so boring because you're going to earn a lot of money. You're going to have insurance on your ship. You're going to have insurance on your high end components.
Yep.
And when everything blows up, you're going to be like, oh well, I don't care.
Yeah, because they've already talked about cargo insurance. They've already talked about now possibly component insurance. I mean, what is not insured? I'm serious. Like, what is not insured?
Armor, weapons, who knows?
Well, I mean, if you can insure components, why not weapons? I mean, that's the whole thing. I'm like, and everybody's like, well, you know, think about it like this, Mitauchi. If they insured, say it costs 10% of the value of the cargo, and you go out to, you know, pirate space to sell to make some money, and then you lose everything, well, you're only out 10%. I'm like, well, then that's their own fault for going out to pirate space. In my opinion, I mean, I don't know. I know EVE's a lot more hardcore. I know we're not buying spaceships and inside EVE Online, we were buying them in game, not for like, you know, cash like what we have up to this point, just pledge for the game. But at some point, people are going to come into this universe, come into this game, and they're just going to earn money in game. Their ships aren't worth thousands of dollars then. And your ships aren't worth thousands of dollars then, because you can just get them in game. People aren't ready to hear that, but your backing of the game's been great to help create the game, but your ship is not worth the money you spent on it.
Yeah. And I'm okay with the idea of like insurance for cargo to a degree, right? Because I think insurance for cargo is, here's my case. Let me make it real quick. So insurance for cargo makes sense to me because you're primarily, as a cargo runner, basically trying to make money. So if you, let's say you have a load that you're trying to take of, you know, like some value, like it's 100 alpha UEC, and you can make like 120 alpha UEC by selling it. So you're going to make 20 alpha UEC off your cargo run, right? If your insurance for that cargo is like $10 or 15 or 10 alpha UEC or 15 alpha UEC, that means you can pay for the insurance, but you're only going to make 5 to 10 alpha UEC off that run instead of the 20 that you would have made before. So now there's a real ROI there. You could be like, look, I could, a risk to reward. It's like, I could get the insurance, but I'm cutting half of my profits out for that insurance. So do I really want to do that for my time investment? But when you go to like weapons and components for ships, the motivations are different. Like I'm a combat guy. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go, I know my mission that I'm doing is a death sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I'm going to attack the Death Star. I want to do as much damage as possible, and I know I'm going to die, already guaranteed. So why not insurance and get 50? Even if the insurance was heavy, even if it was like you're going to get 50%,
as long as it's not the cost of the items you're using, it's worth it. Then if you're going on a suicide run and it's like, say it cost half of what it is, or even 75%, well, okay, I know I'm going to get that other 25% right back. So why not? You know, I'm just like.
Which that's why it's different. So it's like components are massively different. We shouldn't insure components at almost any cost, but we should insure like things like cargo possibly, because the motivations, like cargo is to make money. Weapons and components can be used for like just anything. And so,
I think it's my brain pan of like in Eve where we always had, if your ship blew up, even if you fully insured, because it had tiers of insurance, you only got enough maybe under full insurance to get your hull back, to buy it back in that game. Never the weapons. The weapons were always like a cost you were going to have to just fork and deal with. But I don't know.
Exactly. I think the game, it would be so much more interesting, especially because at the end of the day, I think combat is the main thing that breaks the system. When it comes to every other ship, you're primarily out there to make money. And so insurance makes sense. But combat ships, like nobody in the real world would insure combat ships. I don't think, like, if you ask hey, can you insure my F-16? Like, I'm going to go into a battle and people are going to shoot at me. How much would it cost? You know what I mean? Nobody in their right mind would insure that. Like, so it doesn't make sense to do that in game. But I don't know. I think that the game sounds more exciting. If you're in combat and that's a gameplay that you enjoy doing, even if it's PvE, and I don't even love combat, but if I wanted to do combat, I will do combat in the game, by the way. I would be so much more excited when I walk out of a battle having not lost my ship. You know what I mean? Or I'll be more cautious about certain things. Then
I'll be more satisfied because I can kill my enemies and know they actually committed loss. Like, I'm impacting them. Yeah. Because
people keep saying it's a game. Like, oh, it's a game. It doesn't have to be that serious. I want it to be impactful because it's a game. Like, games aren't fun when there's no risk. And I don't feel like most insurance, maybe depending on how you could create insurance that's got certain kinds of caveats, maybe, but I don't see an insurance system for weapons and components that will make the game fun. Yeah, it would make the game unfun.
There's a lot of people when we talk about insurance systems, they either say, hey, it's not that important, or they say, well, they could always just say, if you go in pirate space and it doesn't work. The more complicated you make the insurance system, you want the game to detect where you were, what was happening, what your intention was, all this stuff. I'm like, it's too much. It's too much.
Then they're going to have a court system. You have to go to court to like get your insurance.
It's like insurance fraud. We're going to have systems built in there where you have an inspector come out and look at your wreck and make sure you're operating it properly. I'm like, I don't think so.
But that's the thing. I'm 100% okay with LTI on everybody's ships. I don't even care. Like LTI, whatever. Like I think you could have a really amazing gameplay if you got your ship back, you got basic components in the ship. you know, whatever was the standard like base package of the ship, you got those. It comes with guns, it comes with your components. But if you go out of your way to make your combat ship the best of the best with better shield generators, better engines, better weapons, and everything else, and you lose the ship, I think that it would be more exciting. Well, and that's the only reason.
And I see CS and people in chat saying stuff like, "Oh, well, if I lose all my components, it costs 100% more than my ship." That's impossible because the components you have are part of your ship. So they would never cost more. Now, if you have high-end components that you specially bought and stuff, like if I go out and buy a car and I sit there and soup it up and I drop a new motor in it and I put, you know, special exhaust on it, and I can easily surpass the cost of, say, like a Toyota Camry pretty quick by putting all these modifications on it and all this stuff to make all the components worth more than the actual value of the car is. I could do that, but that's your choice. Well, the thing is, I always want to make sure the insurance covers, and this is the whole insurance I'm speaking of, enough so you can get back your regular ship and ready to go again. But you shouldn't be able to get back all your specialty items, all the high-end items, everything else you've modified your ship with. There's no way. That's not even practical. Because here's where it comes back, and I know everybody thinks about a single-player perspective. From a combat perspective, and remember, combat's what makes the markets go around anyway, because somebody has to be blowing up ships and everything else for your shit to mine and everything else to have any real value. Because if we're not blowing stuff up and all that, there's no demand for ships and everybody's good. The main aspect is, for combat-wise, the main reason to do combat, like say I want to take a land territory from somebody that's on an unprotected area, I have to think about reasonable attrition. How many ships, pilots, assets, missiles, components is it worth for me to try to take this spot from my opponent?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if, I don't lose anything, I can sit there and just hammer it all day, and it won't matter. If I'm a griefer and you're a poor explorer and I don't like your attitude or the way you looked at me, I can sit there and hammer you all day, and I'll just reinsure it. And who cares? And then you're going to complain and say he's grieving me, and I won't. I'll say, oh, no, I'm a dirty pirate, and I'm RPing my mechanic, and I'm just really don't like this guy. And that's what will happen. So the
problem with insurance is it makes you're paying insurance whether you're attacking somebody or not.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I'm paying insurance on all my weapons, all my components, even if they're not using. So it actually forces me, encourages me to use them. Yeah. You know what I mean? To get my money worth out of paying. Why would I pay insurance on a whole bunch of weapons and ships components that are just sitting in a garage somewhere? You know, I don't know.
And make sure I'm not arguing against mechanics, because I will use these mechanics too. But you don't want me to use these mechanics, is what I'm trying to explain to you. Because I've come from a world where we've used every mechanic we can in a game to thwart our enemies and ruin their day. So, you know.
Yeah. And CS Digital Design, CIG is on your side for the most part. It sounds like historically the way they've made statements, they are saying they're going towards component insurance and other types of insurances. What I think that I'm just saying that I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, obviously I don't represent the whole community, so I understand that. And again, maybe I don't understand the vision of CIG either. Maybe there's a really cool way to incorporate insurance that balances everything. It's just, from my limited perspective, that's just.
And I know, like CS says, okay, well, you just make the insurance costs go up. I have 65 ships. I'm not losing any money because I'll just rotate to a new ship. All my org mates have tons of ships. I'll just borrow the Fuse ship or his ship. So now they just each blew up once. That way the timer will cool down, because that increase in cost won't be permanent. It'll just be another cooldown. After so long, I didn't lose a ship of that type. So guess what? There you go. And even if you don't have insurance, they've already said you don't lose your ship. You just have to buy it back. Yeah. So it's still in your inventory. So you don't lose anything. All it does is, like, the only thing you lose in this game right now that I've seen is money if you die and your time for doing something. And people are already really mad about the whole agent smithing and thinking that you should be able to easily go anywhere and that. I'm like, if everything takes no time, no cost, you guys are going to really hate me in this game. I'm just telling you. It's gonna be one of those things where, oh, Mitauchi was just over here. Well, we're all good over in this area, you know. It's like, it's all good. Oh, how'd he show up right there with 35 people? I don't understand. It's like, it will happen. Yeah. We've done it. We've done it before. We'll do it again. It's just, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Toy, give us your thoughts on insurance.
Yeah, go for it,
Toy gets to hang out and watch us referee.
Yeah, you guys are just going off, aren't you?
This is important stuff for me.
I I don't know. I want to see what they have to say before I throw my 2 cents in hat, because we could sit in theory craft about this for the next 2-3 years.
Well, that's fun. That's what we're like. Even CIG admitted that they listen to everybody, and that's how they come up with their ideas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they listen. And I'm not saying they listen to this conversation, but they listen to us as a community. Yeah. And they go, "Oh yeah, that's so."
Well, and they're going to look at the other side. The same thing people are saying in chat. The same thing people are looking over there. So it's all valid. I mean, everything everybody says is valid. I'm not trying to tell people not to express yourselves, because I want you to.
So, well,
100%.
As far as our components go, I think if you put your own components in, you should be able to insure it, but it should be like insanely expensive.
But wait,
like you said,
sorry, go for it.
Because if I kill, some kind of Vanduul ship, and they have some kind of amazing component that I want to put in my ship that replaces my stuff. So, am I all the time worried about this thing's just going to be gone? I mean, what's really the point?
You should.
Why not? Like, first of all, even if you had insurance, how are you going to get it back in lore? How are you going to? If you got a Vanduul component, you can't just go down to the store and buy another Vanduul component.
Here's the concern. Let's say in your example, Toy, you blow up a Vanduul ship and you take their component. I don't even know if you can do this, but let's say you do, and you can put it in yours, and then you can insure it so you won't lose that component. What makes yours valuable then? Because say everybody does that. We all do it. Everybody has one. We all just insure it so we never lose it. Then now nobody's going to blow up a Vanduul ship to get a component, because
I get it.
We're all good.
I get it.
It's like having no rare items in an RPG game. That's the problem.
But see, this is the problem. They're going to cater to the majority, which is always the care.
We're all going to be Jedi in Star Wars Galaxies and ruin this game too.
No. Eventually, they will.
We'll all be Jedi people. Don't worry. It's okay.
Wait. I want to preface. I am a Care Bear. Like, I am a PvE player. Like, I generally don't like PvP very much, but I also appreciate, like, life isn't precious if you don't die, right? Having cool things and components generally aren't that valuable unless you can lose them. And I'm not saying everything, like holes, right? LTI, that's pretty like solid now. I'm actually a proponent of LTI for any ship you buy for the most part. Like, I don't like these like tiered insurancing systems. But when I say LTI, I don't mind LTI on the whole. I think that so much more of the money in the ship can be part of the components and weapon systems that you upgrade. But I think that as long as that's the case, then there's going to be a lot of, because that way you don't, as a Care Bear, like, I just bought my cool prospector. I haven't upgraded it yet. I'm playing around with it the first time. I'm going out and mining for the first time, and somebody else comes by and like destroys my prospector before I can do my first mission. I would be super pissed if I now had to like rebuy that or wait for like, I don't know. So having LTI on the whole, I'd get that back. I'd still be able to do my thing. But if I lost some really cool high-end component, it might bother me. Yeah. But at least I'm not interrupting my gameplay so much. And I think there's cool like compromises that can be done there. But at the same time, if I have a cool rare component and I can't just like insure it, like, you know what I mean, and get it back almost instantly when I lose it.
Then you got to decide when you use it or if you use it.
Yeah. And it's going to make me appreciate it like an insane amount more.
Or if you sell it to somebody else.
Right? Yeah. And CS is saying his only issue is losing everything in one swoop. But what I'm saying is I'm not arguing for losing everything in one swoop. No. I'm saying, look, you're going to have 3 or 4 ships. You're going to have a garage, hopefully a hangar full of random weird rare components. And you're going to be like, here's that weird, cool, rare component I got at the Battle of so-and-so off of so-and-such a ship. I need that for this mission. You're going to put it in your ship.
I just don't understand what CS thinks he's losing. Everybody gets your effing ship back. You don't lose your ship. You don't lose your ability to make money. You always get your ship back in this game.
Yeah.
You do. You almost always get it back, no matter what. You're going to get your ship back in some capacity.
Yeah. So I'm not arguing for losing everything.
So for me, losing components and cargo, big effing deal, go out and make more money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me. So by saying, I don't want to risk everything, the argument against that is what people are saying, and what CS is advocating for is losing nothing at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that will ruin a game. If you don't lose anything, you have no reason to work. What's the point? It's like everybody's on CIG welfare, and you don't need to work. Yeah. We can all just have ships, and we don't need to do anything, and it's okay, because once I reach a certain point and I have all the stuff, it's like running around. If WoW only put out 1 expansion ever, and that was the level cap, you think WoW would still be around?
Yeah. Also, you can handle insurance in other methods. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? There's ways to do it. Like, let's say you're a miner and somebody's like, look, you know, there's material that's super rare, right? Like maybe it's right, and maybe it's only in very weird low secky areas, right? Well, guess what? If it's super rare and it's super dangerous to mine, guess what? It's going to be super expensive. So you're going to be able to afford it. If you're a ship, you're saying, look, somebody prospected on a small tiny ship, they found like some platinum or whatever in some weird dangerous area. You're like, look, we could go out there with a giant mining ship like the Orion, and we could mine it and make 1 billion alpha UEC or something, right? But guess what? We're gonna hire 1,000,001 people to come protect us. So we're gonna do something.
CS
right?
wants the only money sink in the game to be for paying insurance, which they've already said is the cheapest thing you can possibly do. If insurance,
so boring.
That's way boring because then people like me have all LTI. What am I spending money on?
Yeah, like yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
At this point, we're gonna have to like put our faith in CIG a little bit and kind of just see what
well, they haven't said one way or the other exactly how it's going to be mitigated, and they could do like you said, and cargo runs and stuff could be really high rate. I mean, it could be like a super high rate for highly volatile cargo that if you're going to go out to a certain area and you take it out there, there you go. What I would like to see is imagine cargo runs if you had to have a mission plan. Like, oh, I'm going to take this cargo over to here.
I don't want it that complicated.
Oh, why not? Let's get it really complicated so that way it has some sort of money.
Then we're in Kerbal's.
Okay.
I know.
Let me come up with a somewhat compromising idea that I'm not entirely against. What if there were ideas of hero components or what considered rare components, right? Rare components would be uninsurable, and rare components might be the most valuable and most interesting. And you might have standard components, which are base components, like C is like basic, right? B is like a higher tier, and A components, right? And you could insure maybe what's considered industry standard components, but if you find like these kind of components that are like extra rare or special or overclocked or whatever, maybe you can't insure those or something. I don't know. There's a way to create maybe define balance. I don't know, but we'll see.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't have to pay a deductible. There's no deductible I have to pay.
Yeah.
Why would I have to pay a deductible if I have LTI? I just wait for the timer. The only deductible you have to pay is if you want to expedite that I know of.
Well, with LTI, there's no deductible. Otherwise, it wouldn't be LTI. But like with whole insurance, I don't think there will be. But they haven't really talked about the specifics of component insurance, even though they have mentioned it would probably exist, and some other insurances. So maybe whenever they come up with those concepts, maybe there are.
When CS can tell me how much the deductibles and everything are, then we can talk about his argument that insurance is the best money sink for the entire game.
Yeah.
Because again, as pointed out before, if you have a shit ton of ships, that's not really it's not really a big money sink or time sink or anything like that. So,
anyways, we'll see what happens. I think I don't know when we'll see this evolve. I think maybe early to mid next year is when we'll start seeing not insurance, because insurance as a whole is not going to happen till beta or after beta, but you'll see the concepts of insurance maybe becoming a little bit more solid into next year. We'll see.
He's putting a lot of stock in a lot of mechanics that they haven't said would cost very much money.
You know, the thing that worries me more than anything about this game is with the way they're doing this caching system that they talk about and stuff like that. I'm worried how that's going to affect the hackers, you know, people that are exploiting and stuff, because that's what worries more than anything is that type of stuff. Yeah. You know, packet sniffers and stuff like that. With all the
what was that? Okay.
With their sneezing
bless you
in the background. But you know, the programs with the packet sniffers and stuff, and them not updating the server very often.
Yeah, but packet sniffers only work when you're not encrypting data. I'm sure like everything we have is SSL somehow encrypted, I would hope.
Yeah.
But anyways. Maybe not. I have no idea. Yeah. I'm not programming it.
Yeah. But we just hope. We can only hope.
That's my biggest worry about all this stuff is insurance. That stuff will work its way out. But
absolutely,
it will. A lot of this is really just
space shooting too.
Yeah,
because you get a bunch of hackers in a spaceship that never miss a shot in a spaceship. What good does it do to put
really
any
depends.
components in
the only way to hack the game any game really is it depends on how much you put on client side versus server side. That's it. Because the server side they can insulate, but if they depending on the data they pull from the client side, and that's the same problem with like the aim issues and stuff in Star Marine, they're relying on all that data from client side, and that's why aim bots work. That's why all that stuff. So if you can fool the server and saying, hey, he's hitting perfectly in this every time, or being able to see where everybody else is through walls and those things and avoid collision data and stuff, that's how those hacks work. So there's ways to insulate against that, but again, it's more network cost, it's more bandwidth cost, and it just depends on how they want to mitigate it. There's definitely ways to do it, though. There's
technical limitations that prevent you from doing everything server side. So it like even the idea of like object tracking, right? Your CPU right now, when you load into a game on, I know they haven't fixed a lot of stuff, but when you load into the PU right now, your client knows and tracks every ship, every object, every thing in the entire server for the most part. It has access to it. So like if you knew how to hack it the right way, you could technically have access to all the information.
Well, that's the same reason those exploits still work inside Star Marine, like the aimbots and stuff, and then they actually have that where they can shoot through all the walls and do stuff. And that's what drove a lot of people off of the original iteration of Star Marine, besides the fact that, like, you know, when you're in your spawn and you're getting sniped from the other enemy spawn, you know, that's like, this is not going to work. But there's ways to mitigate against that. Usually it's trying to put some sort of, I can't think of the name of some of the bots now, or some of the applications, right? Some of the anti-hackware and stuff like that they have out there that run on the client side in parallel to your client, and that prevents a lot of that.
It audits the,
So that's the main way most companies that see a lot of hacking prevent that. But usually now they just build it into the application itself, so you don't have to download two things and do all that crap. I don't know. I mean, I think one of the things we'll see, it's going to be a constant battle back and forth with some of that. It's going to be a constant battle back and forth with people trying to gold farm and pass that stuff. It just depends on what mechanics there are, because the more freedom they give you inside a game to actually play the game and do stuff like we all want, the more potential exploits there are, the more potential those things.
Not necessarily. I actually think exploits will come from over-regulation in the game to some degree. When you're trying to like create too complicated of systems to mitigate things, sometimes you create the ability for manipulation, right? So insurance is one of those things, right? Insurance is the, hey, we're going to try to, like, if you like just gave freedom of like, look, you buy whatever you buy, you have, if you lose it, you lose it, then it would be really hard to hack that. But if you go, oh, hey, look, if you buy this and you lose it, then we're going to give it back to you for free, like LTI, you run into the idea of people like cloning ships, of like giving free ships to their friends. Like, we've had those conversations before, we don't have to go into them, but it's just an example of sometimes trying to create complex systems of regulation and fun can create
even CIG sidestepped that whole conversation pretty quickly. It's like, hey, our intention is to allow you to steal ships, and they just dropped it at that. They're like, oh, we'll talk about it later. I'm waiting for that to happen. So
I already have a solution for that though, so I think that they'll find a better solution than I have. Because my solution is literally, you steal a ship, but it becomes more wanted over time, right? And so you can use it for some period of time, and then eventually it's so hot that you can't get rid of it. I don't know, but
but the main basis of the argument was people wanted not only be able to steal ships, they wanted it to be theirs when they stole it. That was the problem. Yeah, forever. And then they could insure it, and it'd be theirs. They take it home.
I think the solution to that is you get it, and then you dump it, and you get cash for it. You don't get full value cash for it. You get like 20% because you're selling it after market, and then you take that cash and you can use that to buy a legitimate ship. If you steal 4 or 5 of them, you know what I mean, or whatever.
I agree, but that's not, the community was really adamant on all. Chris said we'd be able to like steal ships and keep them, and I'm like, I don't know if you said all that. I mean, but who knows?
It would be cool if you could steal them and keep them. I just don't know a gameplay mecanic that would allow you to do that.
That's my problem. I don't have an answer for that. I don't have a way, like, if you steal my ship and I claim it, it's stolen. And if you could keep it too, then what's to prevent me calling up Toy and say, hey man, I got an extra hammerhead. You want to steal my hammerhead? And I'll just clam it. And like, then that's when most of the people that I talked to went down the other avenue. Like, let's make it really convoluted. Well, they'll detect, and if they're on your friends list, then we'll know it's a scam. And I'm like, they aren't going to put systems in that deep. They're going to try to figure all that out. It takes too much time and resources to try to mitigate all these steps to try to prevent that from happening. So they'll either just allow something like that happen, or they'll take it out as a game mechanic so you can't do it to begin with. It's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Like, and even this, like they're talking about like with components, just salvaging. Like what do you do? Even if you don't want to give them their ship, what if you just like let them salvage your ship? Like, what is like? I don't know. I feel like there's like a huge. If I've got the game, especially, I know that this is an issue that we as a community and CIG have created over the years of backing and the model they've done for backing with LTI and all that stuff. But it's like, let's say you have a fleet of 50 ships. Like, I only need like 5% of my fleet at any point in time, like whatever I'm doing in the game. So I could literally spawn my ships, have my friends or myself somewhere reclaim the ships with my like a reclaimer, grab the parts off of them, get the material, sell the material over and over and over again, and have them constantly be reclaiming and respawning. And it won't affect my ability to play the game, and I'll be making more money probably doing that.
You would get increased insurance costs, but let's say, because people always say
it's free. It's free. Yeah. I get increased wait times, but I don't care.
Yeah, but they did say insurance premiums should go up as you
for expediting.
Well, not for expediting, but if you actually, because they have mentioned LTI. Even if you're LTI, there was supposed to be
they said specifically if you buy a ship with cash, you won't lose it, right? So obviously they say a lot of things that contradict each other. But my point is, if I have like $1,000 or $2,000 ship, right,
you won't lose it.
The game, you won't lose it. But if you put a paywall of in-game money between me and my ship, then that's gonna like people are gonna be like, wait, I paid a lot of money for this. Now you're saying I can't get it back unless I play the game for X period of time and give you money. I might as well just go earn the ship again all over in game. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that that's the case. Taking that extreme.
Yeah.
But like,
I could see it.
I could see it okay for people to say, look, you have to wait longer. Like, okay, you lost the ship 3 times.
I don't think they're going to get away with putting a premium because the problem is people who lose Idris and stuff that paid $1,500. I just don't think that they'll freak out if you say, "Oh yeah, you have to pay the super high premium to get it back." They will, and CIG will cave to that immediately. So that'll be a whole thing in itself. Yeah.
Now this you could talk about this for a week, but
absolutely. Yeah. Let's go on to ATV. Everybody pointed out to me that Chris has let his gray grow a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and he's wearing short sleeve shirt. That was the highlight of that first sequence there. That people Yep.
Look at the hair. He's gone for a different look.
He's going gray too.
Is he? Oh, he's been going.
Everybody's. I'm going gray. You can't tell on camera half the time, but I am.
My chin's going gray. It's been going that way for a while. So I thought this was really cool. I know Toy mentioned it too earlier that you thought this part was really cool. So. Yeah.
See, I wish we would go back to the old RTV where they'd pull a dev in and maybe get a sound clip of the Vanduul talking or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then have the dev sit there and work the mouth rig to match it. You know what I mean? That would have been a better RTV than what we got this week, if you ask me. But, okay.
Does anybody else like? I understand that, and I'm sorry, Jaylee, if you were involved in this anyway. I don't think you were, but I like the look of the Vanduul, but I feel like that this is kind of cliche in the sense of like they're supposed to be and maybe we don't know the plot of Squadron 42, so maybe the plot of Squadron 42 actually is different. But like the Vanduul is supposed to be the villains to some degree, and you fight against them, and they've made them look scary. They've made them look kind of villainous, and it just kind of feels like just a little bit cliche. Like, I mean, in that regard, like it's not exciting to me because it's like what you expect the villain of a movie or a space opera to be. Now, however, who knows? Maybe in Squadron 42 they do where they say, oh, actually the Vanduul are kind of actually the good guys and somehow the Empire is the bad. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but like I do feel like it's kind of maybe the safe approach to building an enemy like the Vanduul. I don't know. I think
the Vanduul are going to be the obvious enemy, but I think you're going to have all the human tiers of enemies that you don't expect. You know what I mean? I think that's how they're going to do it. It's like you have the forward-facing obvious enemy, and then you have the enemies within your own people that you have to deal with and mitigate all the way through there. That's how they'll do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I want like little Ewoks to be the enemies because nobody's going to be able to fight against them.
I was hoping for ponies. If there was ponies, because everybody says, hey, they don't have disposable thumbs, so there's no way to really make them hostile, villainous like that. But I say
Yeah.
Ponies are ruthless, bro.
And the truth is biologically there are certain looks that are predatory versus non-predatory,
Yep.
like animals instinctually and all that jazz.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm nitpicking too much, but I kind of feel like if I went to a Hollywood and I saw a movie where you were like, okay, you have humans versus sharp teeth, lizardy like enemy people, it would feel a little too simple, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
Anyways, they look cool though. So
what's up, Jukes? Let's go to the next one.
minions.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
Back to the hair. Yeah, it's like it's starting to do its own ring of hair on the hair.
Yeah.
He's going double.
I said it looked
cool.
like a
I like
wave, and he's got the little mist coming off.
I think
the
his
top.
hair's growing cool, stylish hair on top of his hair, so it's got its own personality now. So, mining. Yeah,
Yeah, we saw stuff we already know.
it's pretty awesome though. It's
It is.
having done it and blown up mini ship by overheating rocks. I say it's awesome. I'm not very successful at it. I'm not good at it, but I find it very entertaining.
Well, the trick that I learned is different rocks have different control points. So you just got to learn the control points, and then it becomes easier.
Yeah.
So know your system.
Yep, but they've already modified it. The latest patch, it's modified quite a bit. So one of the techniques I used to use that I thought was really successful was just turn the laser on and off. But it looks like if you do that now, it restarts the laser at 0%. You have to scroll back up, so you can't use the on and off on the laser anymore to, I guess,
Mitigate the heat and all.
Yeah,
energy.
manage the heat,
Yeah.
which is what I was doing. So maybe they're doing that for like because they don't want that kind of gameplay. And then they've updated the scanning tech, so that it actually shows like cool rock icons for like where the rocks are instead of the little squares that we were so used to seeing in the earlier patches. So if you haven't jumped back in on the latest patch, make sure you check it out. I don't know if mining works right now, but scanning does.
So you can see the rocks, you just can't do anything with them yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not. It might have just been me though. You know,
Could be.
How I am.
Yeah, it could be. It's beautiful though. I just love all the aspects of it. I love the fact you can mine other ships. I think they did a great job with this mechanic. I really do. I think they did just right. And I will go ahead and state again, especially with the scanning, it's pretty much a golf swing. But I'm okay with that. Everybody's like, I don't want a golf swing. I'm like, well, I know Chris is like, just let them see the golf swing, and maybe they'll be happy with it. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. A lot of people say they can't find these trading consoles.
They are out of the way. I mean, it's not obvious. Like they are there. They're near the trading consoles for cargo. But even I was like, when I first jumped in, I was like trying to go to the trading console for cargo, and I couldn't. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I made the same mistake.
Yeah, I feel like they need almost like I hate the idea of going into my mobiGlas for one more thing, but they almost need like maps you can look at for like outposts and stations on your mobiGlas so you can see where certain things are.
Yeah, Phantom says it's working now.
Oh,
he's in there mining. He's like, he's winning.
Diamonds?
Mining diamonds. Talked about the derelict spaceship aspects and stuff and how they made some changes to it. I can't remember what they said they modified in there, but yeah, looks pretty good. Wrecks look good. Still look good. Looks as good as they ever have.
Yep.
Awesome.
I can't wait for the. I've still noticed the derelicts when you blow up a ship. By the way, derelicts are getting better. I feel like when we blow up ships in the PU right now, 3.2 PTU.
Yep.
They're more persistent and they're kind of better, like interactivity wise.
Yeah, they have more physics to them. It seems like.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you still can't go into the derelict. They're not fully rendered versions of the ship. You know what I mean? I can't wait for the day when you blow up a ship and then you can go inside of it. You know what I mean? And like look around in the derelict. But I don't know when that's coming out. But anyways. Yep.
And Ruckus, I'm gonna get everybody a code but you. Yeah, the derelicts are great. You can tell they're trying to gear towards the salvaging a little bit and get closer and closer and just kind of play around with some of the mechanics persistency of them. Party system. Toy, have you had any experience with the party system?
I have not, because
Because you don't play with anybody.
Yeah, it's freaking so late at night, nobody's on.
Yeah, we got to play with it pretty extensively. You know, it's been good. I think it's pretty good. I will say, it doesn't have a lot of things I want in it yet. It will be coming, but I think it's because I've been starved of a party system that actually did anything relevant for so long that maybe I'm just overly excited about the small features I get, like seeing where my buddy is, maybe able to do certain things together. But I really appreciate them now. I know where people are when they're in my party. I can see them on my radar. I can see them looking out through my HUD. We can quantum link and jump together, kinda. I
haven't tried that yet.
I'm not really happy with the quantum linking.
I don't really understand the main point of value. Right now, long term, the value is you can all jump into the same system simultaneously for combat, right?
It's not really
right now,
working like that, though.
Yeah.
Because when you jump right now, the way it works is it doesn't have to be the party leader, but when you're in a complete party, whoever initiates the calibration, they're the calibrator. So it doesn't have to be your squad leader, which I kind of like. Because that means if he's dead and he's gone, he's out of the way, and you got 3 guys left, whoever wants to queue it up first, they can commit the fleet to jumping, as long as everybody else kind of aligns. The problem I have with it is the fact that, like, they're all hyped up that you'd all arrive or you'd all go pull out quantum. Nobody jumps at the same time. There is no bubble, like, where you see your fleet flying through space or anything like that. You kind of jump, and the air guy jumps, and you'll end up in the same relative position when you come out. But
you can do that already by just jumping individually.
I feel that way. I'm like, well, I mean, it keeps you closer on grid. I mean, if you were like so many meters apart and you jump, you end up so many meters apart. But I don't know. I feel like somebody goes and this guy goes. I thought it was going to be like a fleet warp type thing. So
that would be kind of cool, yeah. But like, the truth is, I've never been that excited about quantum linking right now. I feel like it's a feature that's ahead of its time. We don't really need it for like another year. I mean, maybe we do, but I just don't see it.
I think they just wanted it for interdiction, so that way if you get pulled out, your buddy doesn't. He doesn't go past the interdiction mark.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I think
that way you don't get pulled out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that way, if you're in a group, you can both have that interdiction experience. Because think about it like this: if you get pulled out and he goes on, then how's he get to you?
Yeah. And also, like, if they want to have the whole, like, accompanying somebody and protect them while they're doing cargo runs, like, it's hard to do.
That's the main reason. There's no other reason I can think of than that. I mean, to really have it. But overall, I give them a thumbs up on the party system so far. I hope they keep going this direction. It feels good. I like it.
Yep.
Pretty easy to use.
I do love the ability to walk up to a character, hold F, and add them to my party.
Yep, they use Conan mechanics. Yeah, so that we can just hover, walk up, say, hey, I don't know who this guy is. Oh, I can add him to my group. There you go. Now you can get into my ship automatically. It's great.
They didn't answer the fact of, or did they? And it was kind of, I don't know, it wasn't very clear about if somebody in your party is like at another planet away, do you still see their name?
Yeah, I do.
Right now you do. Now you do.
Yeah. But they weren't clear whether long term or not that was going to.
I don't think they know. I don't think there's an answer for that yet, in truth. And obviously, I think long term I think they're gonna try to make it fit into lore in some way. So like you take out comm arrays, maybe you don't see them. Maybe there's jamming. Maybe there's I don't know.
I'm okay with like any range in the same system seeing that. I don't have a problem with that personally because your parties are only parties of 8 right now. Yeah, and I'm okay with like I know Toy's over on this moon or planet and I'm on this one, but when you jump out of system, it's like you can't see anymore. Because I would think it's just you, since you've given up your ID for your party members to see you, they're just bouncing off the same monitoring arrays and stuff to see.
Yeah, but if those monitoring arrays go down,
exactly, that would be interesting. I think
that's what I'm saying. Is it's like if you're building it in a lore in that way, like how is that going to affect it? Because I don't know, we'll see. Because I do think that like you could have it so like, hey, like I'm going to such and such planet. You know they're at that planet. You can't see them, but if you warp to that planet, you'll probably be able to see them because you'll be within range of their like emitter or something. You know, I don't know. So it's like, do you really need to see them 24/7 where they are, or can you just kind of know their general area and then warp over there and you know what I mean, and then see them? So
absolutely,
yeah.
Kind of thumb through that part. I know
the trees are really cool.
Toy wanted to talk about the trees.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Well, it's nice.
Okay.
They talk about how they're going to. Well, see, I mean, right now they're just testing the swing.
And I get that.
It's an animation right now.
Yeah.
That's all it is, right? Well, we don't know. They didn't talk about
but
whether
they
there
are
was
going to
actually
sway in the wind.
Yep.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, and they're not the prettiest trees at the moment either, but we've seen other ones that look better. So,
just happy to have some green around somewhere.
Yeah,
it's nice.
But they're talking about them swaying in the wind, but like, and I'm super like I have so much faith in their ability to deliver like a very immersive, like beautiful scenery. But at the end of the day, I'm really curious about how they're doing that. Like, how are they calculating the wind? Is the wind intensity going to vary procedurally over the terrain? Is it going to move in a wave-like pattern? Are you going to hear the trees waving in the wind at a distance, and as the wind approaches and hits your trees, are they going to start waving? You know what I mean? Like, right now, all I see is an animation of a mesh moving back and forth.
They did talk about having a nice weather system that they were building for this thing. So I would say yes, eventually. But so, but like everything, tier 0.
Yeah, exactly. So my point is really just in this case, it's like they're not doing anything that's innovative or moving much beyond existing game mechanics, which is really cool to see that they're working on the look and feel. But what I really care about long term is their intentions, which they haven't really talked about how weather and wind and objects like trees interact with each other. So, anyways,
I agree.
Yep.
With all that, I can't wait for the really pretty trees to come out. But it's really interesting to see like all the mechanics implemented there and how they're kind of waving with the wind and stuff to get that aspect. Absolutely. Talked about some of the audio stuff. That gun's gonna be really interesting.
Oh my god, that gun sounds so awesome.
It does sound really good.
Yep.
I just don't know.
And I keep bitching about this too because they show it.
I want this stupid shooting range.
The range.
When we get the shooting range? Come on, man.
Seriously.
Put that in somewhere so we could test out these guns. It could just be like a little module off freaking Star Marine. Yes, thank you.
So, just like you can go into that.
You can go in and try guns out.
I think it'd be good to have you and a buddy, and you could do a competition point system. Like whoever hears 45 seconds, whoever gets the most points wins. You know what I mean?
That'd be so much fun.
I think it'd be great.
They have a shooting range. You just have to have an Idris.
Yeah. Well, and I think when they put ArcCorp in and all those things in the Area 18s, like what we have on the little side module thing, when they have those, if you look in the back of those gun stores, there's a door. And that's I think that's supposed to be the shooting range. It's that back end one. It's like all the way in the back. It's sealed. You can't go in there and all that stuff. I think that would be your shooting range where you could go test out your guns, because it's great you can get up and look at them and stuff. But in a real gun shop, you want to be able to, pew-pews a little bit around and stuff and check it out a little more, especially with some of these weapons. But yeah, I think that it'd be really cool. I think they have an intention on implementing something like that. I think it was discussed before, but I can't remember for sure. Surely if they're going to put on the Idris, they'll have other ranges that are like more public consumption. At least I would hope so. So they went into depth on the party system and stuff. Most of this we kind of know how they were doing it, what was happening. I still am really enamored with the fact you can just come up to a guy, you can sit there and kind of invite people based on pointing at him. It's so much better.
At their face.
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine that when they get like, I don't care so much about VoIP, is face over IP, but VoIP, like diegetic sound. Imagine when you can walk up to some random person and say, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? Where you going? You want to hang out with us? We're going to do a school adventure. And then add them to your party right there. Like, oh, man.
The only thing I'd see that I'd like them to be able to do is some way to do that on a ship-to-ship level. Like if you're out flying in space.
Yeah.
It's like you get jumped by AI, right? And there's other players around. You could choose to kind of group up without going, oh, what's his name? Hit enter and like try to type his name and do all that. It'd be kind of cool to be able to have some way to party up,
I think they talked about it, looking for group feature, but later on down the line is the answer, of course.
Absolutely. But yeah, just things to keep in mind and things to think about big style wise.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool if you get group reputation like you're the Fearsome Four. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. Otherwise, the main majority. I mean, that was like the first 10 minutes of this. The last half of this was pretty much the lore makers.
I know it was like 10 minutes.
I thought it was a good lore makers, but it's not really something to go over.
I didn't watch it, and I have to admit,
it's okay.
I like sometimes I like delving into lore, but part of the reason I don't so much is because I feel like I want to learn lore when I play the game. I feel like I want to be somewhat like virgin in my mindset about what the universe is, and when I explore, like, oh, what's this city? What's this planet? What's this system? And just kind of for the first time being like, well, I didn't realize there was a binary star system here. I didn't realize there was life on this planet. Like, you know, whereas like if I watched all the lore, I would kind of already know all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of both in me with that. I want to know a little bit of history. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Just to remain relevant with some stuff. But at the same time, I like discovering stuff. So,
yeah.
The problem is if they put it in its own show and took out the mining, we literally have 10 seconds of a real ATV. Because what did they show us
10 minutes.
besides?
Took out the mining.
Mining with, that's what I mean. They showed us, I'm talking about new stuff.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen. So we saw the Vandal face rig and the trees, and that was it for ATV. Really.
But I'm okay with that. But I'm okay with that because this is a new delivery model for them. They're delivering a new major patch every 3 months. We're a week or 2 weeks away from them delivering 3.2. There's not going to be any new things because they're all hands on deck for delivering 3.2. Yeah. When they get past 3.2, then they can start delivering new things for 3.3. But I think this is going to be a theme. As you get close to the delivery of a major patch, you're going to see news about content kind of become a trickle because they're all hands on deck for delivery.
Pretty much. Yep. So it goes. And there he's back.
I'm gone. Wait, I'm back. Okay.
He's back again. And then he's gone. And then he's back.
It's like Discord all over again.
There we go. Everything he touches.
Oh man.
You know, there's not a lot to review with Calling All Devs. I didn't get to watch it this week, but just going over the main notes of it and everything, it's pretty much a review of the grouping systems and a lot of things. And I think there's a lot of good things that happened this week in Star Citizen. Just not a lot of extra review stuff other than the main topics we kind of cruised over there. Was there anything else you guys wanted to add regarding this week's development or anything else that you thought
RTV or anything else?
I do have something to talk about.
Oh boy.
I love the fact that EVE Online trolled Star Citizen about this shit.
I wouldn't call it trolling.
That was amazing. No, they did.
It was not trolling.
You read the letter?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't trolling. It was more like friendly banter.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like
it was a friendly troll, but it was awesome.
It was kind of like when you like hanging out with your best friend and you kind of like give them a hard time about something. That's all it was.
A little bit of trolling.
But it's cool that on a corporate level, you don't see like big companies do that very much where they play around with that because it's like, I don't know, a lot of big companies are more serious all the time. So it's kind of cool to see that playfulness.
Yeah, it was definitely good to see that come through in there. But the problem is, both communities that take it a little too far, you know, especially like that. Everybody's kind of light and all that stuff. Bad.
Most people took it good though, because you're always going to have your hardliners that are just
like, you stole it.
They want to burn the world down, you know. Yeah. But then you got the cool.
Absolutely.
What time of month is the Squadron 42 update? I just saw somebody in chat ask, so I was curious. Like, they didn't say that exact question, but it's once a month we get the SQ42, right?
I don't know if they have a definitive day or week they do that. They do it once a month for sure. Generally, I think it's either I think it's the first or second week.
But I don't remember we had one for June yet. Did we have one for June? I don't know.
I thought we just had one like 2 weeks ago.
Did we? We might have. Yeah, we might have.
Yeah.
Was it?
Because usually, I think it's the first week of.
Yeah, maybe it is the first week.
I can't remember what it was about now, though.
I know, right? It was,
it was FPSAI.
Yeah.
Because when they talked about that, it was 2 weeks ago. When they talked about that, they talked about it from a Squadron 42 perspective, even though it's a game mechanic that we're heavily waiting on also in the PU. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. That's
absolutely. Yeah, and guys, if you have any questions for anybody here, please put them inside the exclamation mark questions thread that we have. It's a little form. It'll go over to my Google Doc, and then we'll try to address any of those that you want us to talk about, any questions we want to answer, or just discussion points that you'd like to hear from us. And we'll nail any of those out that you have here in just a minute. So make sure you're getting those in now. Then we will go through some other things. In the meantime, when are they going to see you next, Mr. Toy Grubbin, streaming?
I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, but probably tomorrow.
Okay. So look for Toy tomorrow.
We've been trying some other games, actually.
Yeah.
I'm finally, I pre-ordered State of Decay 2.
I know. Now I saw you were playing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still got to do the second. I got to finish the second map and do the third map on that.
Yeah.
I bought 2 games. One of which was the Hitman, the new Hitman one that will be coming out later this year. But you can play the sniper little mini game right now. That was kind of fun. So it's just like one level, one little bit of it to piddle with and see if you can get high scores. So it was pretty fun. And then I bought the Vampire game because I wanted to play it. And then
I see a lot of people playing that.
It looks really fun, and I watched a little bit of some of the other streamers play it, and I wanted to play it. But the minute I bought that, then they announced that they're dropping 3.2 to PTU, and I never played any of them now. So, yeah, I still got to play some PUBG as well because PUBG's got the new map out.
What, they have a new map?
Yeah,
the jungle map.
The jungle map's out.
Ooh.
I think they just put it up last night. So, yeah, we might do some of that this weekend sometime. Few, when are we going to see you strumming next? And what are you going to be doing?
Let's see. What am I going to be doing? I'm going to stream tomorrow for some period of time. Yep. I am going to be doing whatever the bugs and PTU allow me to do.
There you go.
My general goal is to experiment with some of the rocks that get spawned from mining and understanding some limitations around that.
Okay.
So it'll be fun. Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep.
All right. And I should be streaming at some point during the day tomorrow. I'll be doing obviously some more Star Citizen. I think we might if we get enough people on, we might try to do a little PUBG, just take a look at that, see what's going on in there. But mostly I plan on going out drilling rocks and drilling ships. That's what I like to do. So we will be playing around with some of that. Also giving out a ton of more key codes for the 600i giveaway because my goal this month is to get rid of everyone I have on my thing. So all my key codes will go out before the drawing. So I have some work to do because
he wants to finally be the guy who wins. Like he wants somebody who follows him, who gets his key codes to be the winner of the 600i. Because I was the person who.
The thing is, but they don't identify like that, so we'd never know.
No, you can't. You can see the action that made them win. So
yeah, but it doesn't have your name. Oh, you have to go through the whole database of key codes.
No, yeah, but you could easily search through it. I would think. So. I'm just saying.
I could, but I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
just saying.
Not everybody's that worried about it. As long as an awesome SpaceBros winning, that's all I care about.
No, you have to be the SpaceBro that wins, like somebody from your channel.
This is the one thing the Few's highly competitive about. The one thing, that's it. Everything else, whatever. But no, we'll obviously be streaming that. But I know first thing tomorrow morning, I'm supposed to go. Me and the wife have been going out. We're doing our walks and stuff because we joined Weight Watchers, so we can lose some weight and do all that stuff. Additionally, then at 10:30 or wherever, me, the wife, and the kids are going to go see Incredibles 2. So that was my son's request.
That was really fun.
Yeah, so we're going to check that out because he's super excited to see that. And then I'll be doing some streaming. Then Sunday, I might have to be going to a birthday party for my son that his buddies turning 6, and he wanted to go see Jurassic World, and they're all 6-year-olds. And I was like, I guess I can go with you, even though it's PG-13 movie, and we'll go see this because I didn't want him to just go by himself because he freaks out about everything. He likes playing. There's a mobile game for Jason, like a little Friday the 13th game. It's all cartoony, and he wants to play it. And I'm like, okay, as long as you're not going to freak out. So he's back there playing it, and then a scary part comes up, and he'll come running down the hallway. Dad! I'm like, okay, maybe you shouldn't play that game. But it's not what you think. It's a real kids game. It's like Scooby-Doo on your phone, but it's silly. Anyway, so that I'll be doing that and then streaming the whole rest of the weekend for me. So it's gonna be interesting. A lot of family activities mixed in with some spaceships and mining.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. All right. So make sure you guys doing that. Again, make sure you guys are getting into the 600i giveaway. It'll be drawn. I believe I'm ending all these at 10 Central, so that way we have time to show them at the end of the night and have some time to do it instead of midnight every night. And it should be on Saturday, I think the 30th. Yeah, will be the drawing day. And I'm hoping by next Thursday or by the SpaceBro show next week, we'll be able to announce what the new giveaway is if we haven't already preluded that. So we get a little bit of overlap because I think that's good. And then we'll be on July. And boy, that's going to be, man, year's halfway over.
I know, it's crazy. It goes by so fast.
It's so nuts, man.
Yes.
So quickly. All right. Well, let me refresh here. Otherwise, I think we might only have one question. We might have an early night.
Yay.
Get out of here.
It's kind of a slow week, so.
Yeah.
I mean, because we knew what was
summer,
right? Yeah, and like you said, they're all focusing on, just getting this out. So there's.
Yeah, I mean, technically, wide PTU was this week. So, like, not wide, but, like, it did release this week. We didn't really talk about that. So that was news. But, yeah. Outside of that, really, this whole week is mostly a PTU week. It's not really a news week.
Yep. Absolutely. It's very true. All right. So Cal asked the only question for tonight, and it's more of a theory craft guessing question, I suppose. He says, what do you think 3.6/3.7 will be about? Or give us some ideas. So what do you think you'd see on the roadmap for 3.6, 3.7? Because as a close, we're presuming now, as a close to this quarter, that they'll buff it out and maybe see the next quarter. I don't know that you will, so don't get your hopes up too high, but we might. You might.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep a year out, but we'll see. Because they really still haven't fully defined 3.5 at all. They've put some stuff out there, but it's not as evolved as some of the others.
I mean, the real big question in that regard, I mean, if you think so, 3.5 is spring, 3.6 is summer, and 3.7 is basically CitizenCon 2019.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I would say, what's the big push for that year? Because they're going to try to push whatever content is the big push for that year into the third 3.6. So maybe a separate system, the first system you jump to.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, I think so. If they make their timelines on ArcCore and Stanton system, because they don't have Stanton as a planet yet in the game, right? Because Stanton is a planet as well in lore in the Stanton system, I thought, or is it just a star? Am I wrong? There's ArcCore, there's Hurston, and there's another planet, isn't there, in the Stanton system? I thought it was like Stanton. Anyways,
I'd have to look.
Crusader is a gas giant. I guess, you could go that route. Because I know they probably want to build out the Stanton system for the most part, at least tier 0 everything, before they could expand to something else. But I could see them putting in one other system, like the Nyx system or something else that you could temporarily jump to start building out that gameplay as well. But I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they want to get this down perfect with the object container streaming and all the network stuff before they clone it.
Yeah, but they're doing object container streaming, server meshing all this year. So we're talking about late next year. Like, what's the step? Assuming they meet their timelines for this year, they're going to have well established all those things already. So it's like, what's the next step beyond that? I don't know.
If they get it all done this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already pushed off a lot of stuff for the next patch and the next patch.
That's true.
We'll see. I'm hopeful. I mean, but because look, I mean, I know they're going to get behind a little bit. But the stuff that didn't go in with this one is probably mostly done. You know what I mean? So it's not going to take too much longer to finish it up unless they just do, spend way too much time polishing it over and over again. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting if you look at, because we got it up on the screen, if you look at some of the gameplay features they're looking at adding, if we just focus on that for 3.3 and then we look beyond that, we know some of that will get pushed, right? Because they're basically getting all the main mechanics in by next build. As far as salvage, elements of repair there, everything. The only thing I haven't seen on the charts at all is medical. That's the only gameplay big mechanic I haven't seen that's like was always very touted in the very beginning of the project and throughout the first couple of years that we haven't really seen on the roadmap, and that's fine. I'm just saying I haven't seen it anywhere because we have something to facilitate that right now in the interim where you have the med pens and little stuff. We haven't gone into that super depth, which gets more into an RPG element where you start seeing cosmetics and things that happen to your body as you get damaged and all that. If they meet the timeline, let's just give them the benefit of doubt and say that all the gameplay elements for 3.3, they get done in 3.3 and /3.4. Let's say they actually are able to clear the dock by the end of the year, because I think that's very plausible, because 3.4 is pretty light, and that's why I keep advocating for them to go ahead and balance some stuff. The major mechanic issue that they're looking at in 3.4 is land claim, which is a big mechanic, but it might not be as complicated, or maybe they already have people on it and they kind of know where they're going with it and all that stuff. Because we've seen like the resource grids, right, on the planets with mining. They've shown like how they've kind of already simulated where elements will spawn and where they know these different things are happening for mining in general. So they've already worked on mapping the planets and breaking it out. So I couldn't think it's too much farther a leap to have like some sort of grid for land claims, right? Where you can just kind of plot out stuff. Or I don't know if they're going to do it like some hex thing, like you put your flag here and this is your hex and that's their hex, or how they'll divide that up. But it'll be interesting. So for 3.5, I would hope to see some element expanding on the land claim system or cleaning some of that up. I think the only definitive thing on 3.5 that should be around that time that's already scheduled there will probably be the ships. The one thing we have not seen really get pushed or moved a lot, or less than most other things, is ships. That's the only consistent thing on the schedule, right? If we see ships scheduled for a certain slot, generally speaking, they are delivered in that quarter. That's what they've been doing.
For the Mustang Alpha, but Mustang series,
but for the most part, that's been it. The rest of the gameplay stuff that's been kind of more fluid. So I think for 3.5, we're probably going to you'll get the ships they already have and those systems that are already in there. But I think maybe you'll get some more expansion on land claim elements. You might start to see some more combat elements, like what we're talking about between, I won't say organizational scale, but some sort of possession, like you can hold this position, or you can hold this station, or you can do this, or you can destroy that, or missions entwined with that. And then 3.6, I think you'll start to see maybe some sort of group mechanic raid would be cool for them to practice with, where it could do a bunch of players against some sort of AI, like some sort of thing like that. I think that would be cool in a mission set.
Like PvE style. That would be kind of cool.
PvE style. Yeah, like where you group up and you're against maybe a small Vanduul incursion or something would be kind of cool. Basically doing Vanduul swarm inside the PU instead of, inside the module itself. And some of those mechanics come online. And then I'm hoping by 3.7, or if they even call it that, it might be 4.0 at the beginning, middle of next year or whatever. We'll see if they go through all of it. I'm hoping we'll see some sort of org actual things happen, like where you actually can make an organization. Yeah,
I was thinking about that, but I don't know how valuable it would be. There's more.
It'd just be an expansion off the grouping systems. That's all I want to see. True. I just want to see some sort of fleet mechanics stuff. It doesn't have to be orgs. Let me re-specify. Maybe fleet mechanics. Maybe not persistent orgs, because we have those in the website. But I want to see some sort of fleet mechanics where I could prioritize things, or we could fly around together in a certain way, or things like that. Just different elements to where it's not just squat up and experimenting with some of those elements. That's what I'm hoping.
I could see that, yeah. I am also hoping they do push more of the boundaries around ship persistence, item persistence, derelict persistence, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because right now it's a little bit.
I think they're going to have.
But they can't do any kind of ship persistence until they get object container streaming in.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
Well, and here's the problem with that, Toy. How are they going to do salvaging? That's the thing that blows my mind.
That's what I mean. They can.
Yeah, but they have it scheduled at the same time as this. So I also say if they push any of those things, salvaging would be the first thing that gets pushed, because until they have
the thing is, almost everything in 3.3 that I see of any value except for the ships is reliant on object container streaming and bind calling. Like, if object container streaming and bind calling miss 3.3, from my perspective, I have a limited understanding of how they make the computer game, but I don't see how they're going to expand. They're going to over double the size of the map with Hurston, which is adding a lot more assets to track, a lot more things like that, right? They're going to they're going to add, like you said, like these idea of reclaiming ships, things like that, which means more like persistence needs to be added. Almost all the different gameplay and location components, I don't think will be possible, not without huge performance degradation.
The only thing I could see them adding without achieving the bind calling and the object container streaming is they could add fuel and they could add repair. But I don't see salvaging. I don't see Hurston coming in unless they have that. I just think you're getting to the point where you're getting it too big, and having to track server elements across the whole thing is ridiculous. I don't know. But again, I'm also not a dev. I don't know. They might be able to still expand, but I just don't see you starting to add more and more assets without really setting up to where you can isolate those and just encapsulate those in certain areas and not worry about them. So yeah. I think 3.3 is, they've set themselves up for it. If they deliver, people will be happy. If they deliver bind calling and object container streaming and then a few other features, they'll be good. If they miss bind calling and object container streaming, that's gonna be a hard hit. Both of them. They have to hit both those. Those are the two most important features, and I don't know. I think if they don't get those, you're gonna get repair. If they do get those, you're gonna get a whole lot of awesome. If we get repair and a promise for 3.4, like I'll be okay with it. It's gonna be hard on the community. It is gonna be a little bit more rough on the community, because it's like we're starting to see the mining's been the light, like at the beginning of the tunnel, to like show, hey, there's some stuff you can do in cycle on here. But if they could drop in 3.3, if they could, even if they had to push bind calling again, I'd be fine. I wouldn't like it, but I'd be fine. But they'd have to deliver repair, and they would have to deliver, what was the other thing? I just totally lost it in my brain. That they, ship purchasing. They already said ship purchasing is tied to Hurston. Yeah, they could work around that if they had to. I've been saying that, but that's not their story. Well, you know they're going off the basis that they're delivering Hurston in 3.3 too. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. But if they could deliver those two elements, I'd be okay. I wouldn't be totally happy. It would be better to see some of the back-end systems and those elements come in, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Yep. All right. Toy, did you have anything to add? Anything you wanted to see in those final builds there? Or are you kind of like, eh?
Right now, I want them to work and get the network stuff done. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So that's it. Put our head down. We're kind of theory crafting of what ship's going to be at the Citizen Con, since they dropped A2 on us. Kraken. That's what I think too. That's what we. But somebody said, and it was mentioned in one of the old lore posts about a Jupiter. What carrier? Yes. Talking about the Pegasus? Nope. It's called Jupiter. Wow. What's the Jupiter carrier? It's another carrier, but it's made by a different Crusader. It's made by Crusader or a company like Crusader? No, Crusader. I'm pretty sure that's what the lore post said. Well, if it looks anything like the Hercules, that's a good chip. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, some kind of pocket carrier, because Chris dropped a hint a while back about that. So that's the only thing I could see that we could use. That is it going to be in their price range, because we know it's going to be at least $650 to $850. So yeah, I don't see a pocket carrier being it. Not in that price range of $650 $850. I don't see a pocket carrier being that cheap. A pocket carrier of any size is of a Polaris ship carrier. It's not a pocket carrier. It doesn't carry ships. It carries one ship. Like but it's also got like what,
I'm just saying
4 or 5 size 9 torpedoes and big ass guns. And...
There's two reasons. One is I don't see a carrier like that being under like too much under $1,000, but like maybe I'm wrong. And then two, I really don't see why they would want to continue to expand out a carrier fleet or of any kind until they get the Idris playable in game and people can play around with it. Like we don't know how money. Carrier. Yeah, exactly. I know, but like, there's going to be a lot of assumptions, and they'll do it because if they think it's going to make money, they'll do it. So I'm not entirely disagreeing with you, Toy.
Like the Pioneer, right? They went a different direction. They basically put a carrier-sized ship that was expensive in the game. That's not a carrier. It's an industrial.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is like we have a ship, the Idris, that hopefully, and I know that they're probably not going to release the Idris in the game until we play Squadron 42 because they want us to be the first time we would go on the ship to be that game, probably. But at the same time, there's a lot of interesting gameplay that you could test with the community with the Idris that I feel like if you all of a sudden start designing new carriers when you don't really know how the Idris is going to fail as a carrier, you know what I mean? There's going to be things that the Idris doesn't do well, and the community is going to find that out by playing with it, right? And it seems foolish to design more carriers until you know what works and what doesn't work. But I don't know.
The only carrier I know that they don't have in game that still already had a concept and wrenching out there was the Pegasus. That I remember. Which is like somewhere between a Bengal and an Idris.
More I looked at the Pegasus. It's
the Pegasus. Big. But did they ever announce the Pegasus was going to be an ownable ship? I know it exists in lore, but is it an ownable ship?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I would think they would have it because it's about the size of the Jav, but it's just a carrier. It's not.
But I think it holds like 20 or 30 ships, doesn't it? It's supposed to be like a huge carrier.
It depends how big they,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I thought it was going to be like a carrier in Squadron 42 for fighters. That it's like more part of the like to give it a sense of variety. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong.
I have a feeling the Pegasus and like the Kraken are kind of a similar thing, is what it's supposed to be like. Where a Kraken is. They're just carriers. They don't really have any big major guns. They might have some like point defense and lots of turns to defend against other fighters, but they're really just a mobile platform to move short range aircraft into a fleet type acquisition. So instead of slamming 3 ships into Idris, you can put 10 to 20 on one of these, and that is your combat. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
all
I'm
right.
thinking.
Well, anyways.
All right. They threw a couple questions in here real quick.
Of course they did.
I'll ignore the J. Lee question.
What did he ask?
He said, how many times did Phantom Killer kill you?
Oh, jeez.
Every day. Every day.
Or you?
I don't know.
I died like 6 or 7 times.
He kills us all.
I
mean, he's kind of indiscriminate when he does that. Spaceship Training Wheel says, how were turrets in 3.2? How are turrets feel in general?
So there's a little lag to them that kind of makes them feel like slow World War II turrets. So it doesn't.
Am I wrong? I have a question. I've always been under the impression that the Idris can hold 3 light fighters. Isn't that the case?
I thought it could hold 3 as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It's huge. So
I think it depends on the fighter. I think so.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I said light fighter. I thought it could hold 3 light fighters. Okay. All right. Just somebody in chat was saying otherwise, and I wasn't sure.
My thing on the turrets, I think would be fine without some of the hitching. The remote turrets feel really good on the 600i. They feel really good. The manned turrets feel like they're a little bit behind, but they're a lot more snappy than they were.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see when I can actually get in a ship where it can fly with me using the turrets. Because right now the bug is you get in the turret and the pilot can't drive the ship anymore.
Yeah, or you're in the turret and it doesn't fly. I got in the turret of the Hurricane today again, and the gun kept jamming and it wouldn't fire. It was really weird. Maybe it's my own user error, but I don't know.
No, I had the same thing happen. We tried to get in the They're all the turrets and ships are buggy. It's pretty bad, especially the new ones. It was like not very fun. Elwook says, do you think getting mining hammered out and solid will make bringing salvage in quick and relative easily? So we'll finishing up making mining more solid, make salvaging come in faster and be pretty good.
No, because like I said, salvage is probably mostly tied to object container streaming, so where mining is not.
Well, salvage on a limited scale can be done without object container streaming if you're doing like non-persistent stuff, like procedurally spawned stuff.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they plan on doing. If they want immersive salvage, then you need, probably object container streaming.
Yeah, it's going to depend what their idea of what they want tier 0 to look like for salvaging. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the last question. You think there will be humans plus alien race crew in Squadron 42? And any theories what they would be?
How is the lore? I'm not a lore person, so is the UEE a fairly like inclusive group, or is it mostly like human and then aliens?
It's very segmented, humans versus the world, pretty much.
Okay.
Or universe
probably
in
not.
This case. Yeah.
Maybe in future versions, maybe in Squadron 43.
Well, the Tavaran, they're in the UE. Yeah, after the whole war thing and stuff. I guess there are some alien races, but they're not. It's not like the Federation. It's not that deep. It's not. You're not going to walk through and see like purple and green guys and all this stuff. They are that. Yeah, it's not Star Trek. Definitely. So I think it's going to be very segmented. But Chris always said it was like, when people mentioned about playing other races, he said maybe in the future down the road. But really, it's a story about humanity against itself and against all these other elements. So it's really from a human perspective dealing this stuff.
And it also depends on the biological differences too between these species. Like we don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys do in chat or something. But from a lore perspective, do Tavarans even breathe the same oxygen or atmospheric environment? Do they need the same temperatures?
I was gonna say Tavarans and humans can't hook up. What are you saying?
Well, maybe, but my point is more or less like, is it even practical for different species to live on the same ship? You know what I mean? From a lore perspective, if you go on a Tavaran ship, will you have to wear a spacesuit because you can't breathe their atmosphere? I don't know any of this lore, so I'm just kind of asking these questions from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't follow the lore. I follow some cool little tidbits in their stories sometimes on Lore Makers, but I don't even get all those because I kind of want to learn as I get into it. I don't want to go in 3 years from now into the game and be like, I know everything, so I don't need to worry about this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because realistically, if there were like aliens on a planet in our galaxy, like odds are they don't breathe the same atmospheric pressure. They don't breathe the same mix of oxygen, nitrogen, and all that jazz, right? So it's like, why would it in this game from an immersive perspective? So we'll see.
Absolutely. All right, and the view's already disappearing again, heading out that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this beautiful keyword raffle done. We'll give you 2 minutes to get into it if you haven't yet, guys. ! SpaceBros in chat. Make that thing happen. Again, we're going to have some more announcements next week. We're going to have some good fun there. Everybody's already told you their schedules, so we have all that stuff going on. And then, I don't know what else. I had never thought.
I'm gone again.
I'm just tired. Yeah, you're going
I'm
in
back.
and out. You're here, you're there, you're all over the place. Just really tired this week. I've noticed, like, I was checking my sleep stuff on my watch and all that stuff. I only have been getting like 3 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, my sleep this week has been horrible.
Yeah. I don't really have an excuse. I even tried to go to bed earlier. Just my body's not allowing it, and it's not healthy.
Exactly. I try to go to bed sometimes, and my mind's going, and I'm just like, okay, well.
Yeah. It won't happen. Damn it. Let's see.
Yeah, but shortest SpaceBro show I've been on. Maybe this is nice. So.
Yeah. It's almost like a break.
3.5 hours, but yeah, almost.
It's almost like a break. Well, this one we've only been going what?
3 hours and 20 minutes, maybe 3 hours and 10 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it's that long.
Right? No, only 2 hours.
2 hours.
Right.
It's 2 hours.
Started at 11.
Because we started late. I think we actually made a 2 hour window that we're supposed to be doing on our show. So first time finish on time, kind of, sort of stuff.
Kind of, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And you keep disappearing anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead.
Camera shy.
Yeah. That's good enough for that. Let's close this down. Let's see who's going to get the 500 bonus entries for the 600i giveaway. Remember, guys, there's plenty of ways to still enter all the way up to the 30th. We have a whole week of key codes you can get from several of the channels, as well as watch on Twitter and in the SpaceBro Discord. You never know where we might drop some of them at. So just hang on to that, and we will watch and play with you all weekend long. Some awesome Star Citizen. Let's see who's going to win. Good luck to everybody. Looks like the Gecko, if he's here, I hope, still. He hasn't won forever, but then again, he doesn't watch the show hardly ever anymore. So
there he is.
Congratulations to Mr. Gecko, who will get you your beautiful, amazing 500 bonus entries to the 600i giveaway and make that thing happen, Captain. And thank you guys for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And we're going to get her out of here, guys. I think we're going to go.
There goes the few.
I'm gone. Oh, we're back.
Yeah. He's like, I'm out of this. I'm out of this. I ain't hanging around here. What's this problem? So I think we're going to go raid one of my favorite strummers. We're going to go raid Miss Smashley. So she's been playing a lot of Division lately. Just jamming on it.
Yeah, that's getting real popular. So
yeah, everybody's hyped up about the new one coming out and stuff. And the old one's looking better than I remember it. So I might have to dip my toes back into it at some point too. All right, guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you later. Love your faces. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Peace out, everybody. Good night.